Firstly, I want to congratulate Robert Mujica. I know that I harp a lot about the advancements of Latinos in New York State, and that's because if you look at boards throughout the state in the history, you have less than 2% of Latinos on all these boards or quasi-governmental authorities. And Mr. Mujica has served in quite a capacity, and he's opened doors for a lot of young men and women of community of color, and he's served with dignity, and I want to thank you for what he's done. I have to take issue with my colleague, Senator Akshar, on what he believes incarceration should lead to and whether some people should never be released from prison. The concept of incarceration is and always has been to give people an opportunity to rehabilitate. And as the chair of the Corrections Committee, I would never use a litmus test for a candidate that says that there is a particular crime that someone should never be released from. By the same token, I'd never support a candidate that says that everyone who appears before a parole board should be released. This is about them reviewing the work, the efforts of people that are incarcerated to rehabilitate themselves, to make an honest assessment to see if they have changed and whether they have become less of a danger to society, but also whether they've changed, whether they've accepted what they've done, whether they are remorseful, and whether they're going to be productive members of society if they're released. More importantly, I think if my good friend Senator Akshar had taken the time to appear before my committee and seen, reviewed, and discussed or questioned some of the very good candidates that have appeared, he would have realized that one of the candidates, Elsie Segarra, has had a distinguished career in corrections and parole for over 20 years. So your comments that the only person that's not on the list is a person who spent a lifetime in correction is inaccurate. You have members, candidates here who have been both on the law enforcement side and on the social service side, and we should not look at diversity as something that is bad for the parole board. We should look at it as something positive. We want people with all forms and all types of experiences to serve on this board. And the insinuation that somehow my colleagues here, the Democratic Conference, are against law enforcement and will only support candidates that are against correction, people who have worked in corrections or against law enforcement, is just unfortunate and inaccurate. In these candidates that appeared before our committee, my Corrections Committee, we see good people, people who are willing to sacrifice a lot to serve this state, and we should applaud them. We shouldn't denigrate them. We shouldn't characterize them as anti-law enforcement, and we should thank them for being willing to serve the state in an honorable fashion. So I congratulate each and every one of them, and I vote aye.